Christ, bro. I don't even need to do all of that. Can't even fucking see him anyway. Boom. There. We'll do that for right now. God damn. That was infuriating. Infuriating? What the fuck does that mean? Infuriating. I have never had so much trouble just starting a stream before. What was that nonsense? God. Fuck. Right. There. Now I must share the stream. Hot Kentucky Fried Down. What the hell did I just do that for? Oh! I cannot for the life of me do anything right now. Oh. Can we please do something right? First stream of the year, boys. Here we go. And my phone got stuck. Oh, Jesus Christ. And look at me, all like, I'm just fucking stuck back here. Hi, how's everybody doing today? How are y'all liking the new member of the table, Samurai Vegito Blue? Y'all digging the new member? Look at him. Look at him in his big ass sword that he definitely doesn't need because he's Vegito fucking Blue. My chat's down here, by the way, so you're gonna see me looking down here a lot. Look at this tiny ass Cinderace. He's so small. Let's go. Bootleg Vegito, bet you won't say that to Samurai Vegito's face. Bro, if Vegito had just brought this fucker with him to the when he was fighting Zamasu, you wouldn't have needed the Sword of Hope. He already has the Sword of Hope. It's like fucking 6 feet tall. How tall is Vegito? I know Vegito is taller than Goku because Vegito is taller than Gohan. And Gohan's taller than Goku. But I don't actually know, is Vegito just like 7 foot or some shit? I actually don't know how tall Vegito is. Well, he's got his spirit sword and he's got his physical sword. So he's got a sword in both the physical and spiritual way. That way he can fuck you up in both the physical and spiritual realms. Also, Samurai Vegito Blue has a tail, apparently. So, good luck dealing with Great Ape Super Saiyan Blue Samurai Vegito. Some bullshit. I don't know how fucking tall Buhan is either. You think I know how tall any version of Boo is? I have no fucking clue how tall Buhan is. Hot damn. Passive punishment system? What would that even be? What would a passive punishment system even be? As I'm replying to some texts. Gohan's like fucking 6'6". But there's no way in hell that you're gonna convince me that Buhan is the same height as legendary Super Saiyan Broly. 3 feet would make him 9 feet tall, and that's the height given for legendary Super Saiyan Broly. There is no way you were gonna convince me that Buhan is as tall as Broly. I mean, unfortunately, like 90% of the shit they implement is always geared towards passive playstyle, which I don't get. You'd think for a mobile game you'd want a style of game that gets you in and out really fast. This is like the first time since Gogeta Blue came out that I'm fucking opening this app, by the way. Well, that's not true. I actually did play PvP for a few days afterwards. And recorded a full, like, 30-minute PvP video with him. And just, like, that's actually happened with every single release. I recorded a 2-hour-long PvP video with the superhero team. Never fucking uploaded it. It's still sitting there. It's still sitting on my phone. I recorded a PvP video with the 4s. Never uploaded that. I tried to make a video on the Trunks and Vegeta and failed miserably. And then I did one with the Gogeta Blue and still haven't uploaded it. 108 meters tall. Alright. Alright. 108 meters. Right. So you mean to tell me that he's 324 feet tall? Because a meter is 3 feet. Wow, 1,000 crystals. Thanks from the producers. Thanks, I guess. Ain't no shot Vegito's only 6'2". There is no fucking shot that Vegito is only 6'2". I refuse. I refuse to believe Vegito is fucking 6'2". That nigga's at least 7 foot. Maybe 7'2". Like, I'd believe 7'2", but there is no shot Vegito is fucking 6'2". There is no shot that Vegito is only 2 inches taller than Goku. No. There's no fucking way. I could believe that Super Buu is 8 feet tall. Okay, yeah, I could believe that. I could definitely believe that he's a foot shorter than Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. That fan-made manga has hella inaccurate information then, because Vegito is much closer to 7 feet than fucking 6. Like, even if you said, like, 6'10", I'd be like, I guess. I still think he's over 7, but there's no fucking shot that Vegito is fucking 6'2". I don't know what the hell that fan-made manga is talking about. There's no fucking shot. This fucking Goku's 6 feet tall. Gohan's like 6'6", and Vegito's taller than Gohan. So how the fuck is Gohan 6 inches taller than Goku? Vegito is taller than Gohan, yet Vegito is only 2 inches taller than Goku. Huh? Fucking working, bro. But that work brought us the new member of the table, Samurai Vegito Blue. He was not cheap at all. To date, he's my most expensive figure. I mean, excluding this one, but this one I got on sale, so it doesn't count, I guess. Actually, this one might have still been more expensive. I got 50 of these damn Legends Festival tickets. Again, no shot. There's no shot that Vegito is 6'1". If Vegito's taller than Gohan, and Gohan is 6 inches taller than Goku, and Goku's 6 foot even. Again, I'm telling you, Vegito's like 7 foot. Like, the lowest I'll go is 6'10", but this fucker's like 7'2". right, though? I'm doing those free ticket summons. I don't even remember what I fucking won off these banners. I guess it's the same as any type of free banner. Just give me sparkings I don't have at 14 stars. That's really my only requirement for these damn ticket banners. Just give me sparkings that I do not have at 14 stars. What did I just say? What did I just say? Gave me 2 back-to-back that I have at 14 stars. Oh, apparently my Bootanks was still 2 copies away. Never mind then. No. Dokkan has a Beast Gohan active skill. But other than that, it's literally just an animation. That's it. Oh, hit him with the 8. I shouldn't even be giving this banner all that hype. Yet when you put Vegito next to Gohan, he's usually taller. Now, I do know Gogeta is shorter than Vegito. But even then, Gogeta is still taller than Goku. I don't know if he's taller than Gohan, though. I actually don't know if Gogeta is taller than Gohan, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was. You see how long this fucker's legs are? Like, I don't know. It's just, he can't be taller than Gohan and only be 2 inches taller than Goku. Like, that can't be a thing. Like, he can't be 6'2" and be taller than Gohan. What did I just say? How do I not have you at 14, huh? What? Fuck? Let me shut up then. Jiren is 6'5"? Yeah, I believe it because he's taller than Goku. But again, you're not gonna fucking convince me that Vegito is shorter than Jiren. He's not. Vegito is not fucking shorter than Jiren. What's up, Kaneki? How do you like the Samurai Vegito Blue? Okay, that one I know I have at 14 stars. I'll take that EX Fascia, though. I think I already maxed you out. If I didn't, then that's a good pull. Yeah, 9-star Fascia. I'll take that. I'm just saying, you can't put them next to each other in promotional art. Official art by Toriyama himself, where he has put Vegito and Gohan next to each other. Vegito was fucking taller. Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist on a fucking ticket banner. Alright. I already have you at 14 stars. That was fucking crazy. I put like fucking 5,000 Z power into Revival Goku to max him out. I fucking just ultra casually maxed out that purple hit though. Again, not possible because he's taller than Goku. And unless you're about to tell me that Goku is only 5'1", which would make him shorter than Vegeta. Or unless you're about to tell me that Vegeta is 3'7", that shit doesn't work. The math does not add up there. Unless you're about to tell me that Vegeta is 3'7" and Krillin is exactly 4 inches tall, that the fucking math doesn't add up there. Oh yeah, we are supposed to get a new tag this month. I am, like, low-key kind of surprised that we don't have a Majin tag. You'd think that'd be a thing. Shut up. Fun fact, I got a 500 pull on one of the daily discounts on Rosé's Zenkai banner. That was fun, because it's the first time I've ever done that. Bullshit. First of all, if you expect me to believe that Vegeta is only 4 inches shorter than Goku, what, are you counting his fucking hair? Are you counting his fucking hair? Bullshit, Vegeta is only 4 inches shorter than Goku. That motherfucker's like 7 inches shorter than Goku. I don't count his fucking hair. You wanna know what pisses me off? I've pulled every Legends Festival unit except the Blue Zamasu, arguably like the second best unit. I say arguably because the 4s do exist. But I feel like you can throw Zamasu on more teams. But I refuse to jump back into this fucking banner for one unit. I mean, I suppose I could do step 3. Damn. I've got a 6-star tag 4s, a 3-star Trunks and Vegeta, and then an 8-star Gogeta Blue. Anyone who saw that stream knows how upset I was about skipping the multi where we pulled him twice. I mean, like, I could do step 3, but I'm not fucking pulling Zamasu on step 3. It's just not happening, so we'll just have to pull Zamasu on a future banner. Get it? Because he's from the future? Holy shit, this raid is still here. That raid I only did 1 battle of. I mean, it's pretty safe to say that the Anniversary and Legends Festival units will... They're probably just going to end up swapping between Vegetos and Gogetas till they fucking run out. Right? Like... like, Anniversary is 100% Ultra Vegeto Blue. Like, you'd be a fool to not see Ultra Vegito Blue coming for the anniversary. And then next year's Legends Festival will probably be Ultra Gogeta 4. And then after that, if they've implemented Super Dragon Ball Heroes into the game by that point, then the 6th anniversary will probably be fucking Kaioken Vegito Blue Ultra unit. And then Legends Festival will be Evolution Blue Gogeta. Like, it's pretty safe to say that, you know, when it comes to the two big celebrations, they're going to use their biggest moneymakers, Vegito and Gogeta. I wouldn't say they killed the hype of it by spamming it with fusions, but I'd say they... Honestly, the hype for the Ultra units died for me when the free-to-play Vegeta one came out because half his animations were the same as Goku's. Like, realistically, that Goku and Vegeta sharing so much as one animation with each other killed the hype for the Ultra units to me. Because they were advertised as being wholly unique. And then the second one you ever release is like 60% the same as the first one you released. So, where's that uniqueness you were talking about? Where's that uniqueness you built up for like 4 months? I mean, we still don't have an LF Super Gogeta, which is fucking wild. The fact that he got an Ultra before an LF. You'd think he would have gotten an LF fucking years ago. You would have thought that Super Gogeta would have gotten an LF before fucking Gogeta Blue, considering how long it took us to get that motherfucker. But no, we still, to this day, don't have an LF Super Gogeta. And it's fucking weird. Like, I don't like Super Gogeta, but I understand how popular he is. Why is there no LF Super Gogeta? Like, why? And at this point, you can't even build that much hype around him because he's already had an Ultra release, so... What is he gonna be? Just some monthly LF? Because people are gonna get real fucking upset if he's like a Legends Festival or Anniversary LF, just for you to then turn around and release a Fusion Ultra. That's just gonna piss people off. That's just like, okay, too much fucking fusions. So... I mean, he'll still be hype. People love Gogeta. People love fusions. At the end of the day, if you were to pick the second biggest moneymaker in Dragon Ball, it'd be Gogeta. People love Gogeta. Vegito is number one, but Gogeta's an easy close second. So... what do I think a cool Ultra unit would be? I'm trying to currently set aside my own personal biases. Because if you put a gun to my head and said Ultra unit now, I'm giving you a fusion, and that's Kefla. But if you actually let me think, or no, I'd give you two. Kefla, and then I'd give you Kid Buu. I'd give you a fusion and a regen unit. Kefla and Kid Buu. But if I actually had to think about that, I think an Ultra Beerus would be pretty good. I would love to see an Ultra Beerus. And I mean, at some point, at some point, Beerus is gonna get an Ultra. I mean, Beerus is a weirdly enough, like Beerus is a super popular character, yet like they never release versions of him. And it's like I get it, he doesn't really do all that much anymore, but either take some shit from the manga or just be creative and just give him something that looks cool. I mean, he was the first ever Legends Limited unit. He wasn't the first ever LF unit. That was Gohan. But he was the first ever Legends Limited unit. So... My thing about Ultra Frieza is, like, a long time ago, I brought up the idea of an Ultra Frieza, and that idea ended up being identical to the Revival Frieza we currently have in the game. Because my idea was an Ultra Frieza that revives, and the Revival animation would have been him after he got hit by the Spirit Bomb. But that was back when we had free-to-play Ultras. That was my idea for the third free-to-play Ultra. And then like 5 months later, that's an All-Star banner unit. Where are my fucking royalties? Where's my royalty check, Bandai? Yeah, that'll never happen. They hate doing anything unique because unique doesn't make as much money. Unique doesn't make as much money, so fuck uniqueness. I mean, that's kind of the point. Like, you introduce Super Dragon Ball Heroes, you instantly have access to, like, another, like, 200 fucking characters that you can implement into the game. So many different tags, or so many new tags. You can get a whole bunch of shit for a lot of existing tags. Like, introducing Super Dragon Ball Heroes would be the best thing the game ever does. Because it would immediately introduce 10 times the variety we already have, which is none, by the way. So technically 10 times 0 is still 0, but I mean, yeah, obviously, like the first ones we're gonna get is gonna be like Zeno Goku, gonna be fucking Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. Like those are the first units we're gonna get. But after that, then they can start giving us other shit like Golden Cooler, Golden Metal Cooler, Cumber, Hearts, fucking Grand Priest Goku. The Heroes version of Merge Zamasu, Super Saiyan 3 Rose. You also have a new version of Hit that you can finally use. You want to know something crazy? We still don't have a Super Saiyan 2 Kaba. In fact, the last time we got a Kaba was what, 2019? I don't even think the fucking Tournament of Power had started when that Kaba came out. At the very least, it wasn't done yet. I mean, there will be eventually. They'll make the executive decision to buff Universe Survival Saga again, because we still have that Goku and Frieza to get. We still got a transforming UI or Revival UI, transforming Jiren, transforming Topo. Like there's still a whole bunch of untapped shit from the Universe Survival Saga. At some point, a Super Saiyan 2 Kappa is gonna be thrown in there, you know, on some type of banner, but. I mean, you act like fusions are the only things they ever release in this game, which I would strongly argue against. In fact, I don't think they release enough fusions in this game because despite fusions being a part of every major celebration, when was the last time the actual fusion team was actually good? Like 2020? Like when was the last time people actually ran the Fusion Warrior team? Because they only release 2 of the fuckers a year, so you can never actually run the Fusion Warrior team anymore. If anything, they need to start releasing more fusions, just not at the highest fucking rarity. We need more 1% fusions. I mean, sure, you saw people running fusions for like 3 days after Red Vegito got his Zenkai, and then they realized outside of his lock-in, he fucking sucks. So... hold up 1 second. Your boy needs to pee and grab some water. Which is ironic when you think about it, but shut up. Returned I have. Hold on. Ah. Bro, we still don't even have a base Kefla. I mean, Super Dragon Ball Heroes wouldn't be its own tag. At least it shouldn't be. That'd just be an episode. The only episode that's really treated like a tag is Sagas from the movies. And I guess Universe Survival Saga. Like, that's it. We should probably do this raid, you know, before it fucking disappears. Haven't done a single raid this Legends Festival. Just because I can't be asked. It's not even that I never had the units. I've had every unit. I just can't be asked to open this boring ass game. The first Legends Limited was Beerus. The green Beerus. However, he was not the first unit with a legendary finish. The first unit with a legendary finish was the FSK Gohan. Beerus didn't actually get a legendary finish until he got his Zenkai. Yeah. Keep in mind, this was during a time when Dragon Ball Super was still in like it was still airing. So people were really fucking high on Beerus at the time. I gotta let's get a change in music, shall we? Shall we? There it is. I mean, yes, but not that deep into it. Y'all know this. Those of you who don't, it's the entire Sinnoh soundtrack in jazz form is Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. I do count them all together. Is my favorite Pokemon game. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl should be my favorites now. But we all know how that went. I don't even have a problem with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. It just didn't really do anything special. I don't dislike it like so many people do. They're fine games. They're the original Sinnoh games. But I guess that's kind of the problem, right? They're just the original Sinnoh games with modernized battle systems. Favorite legendary? Huh. I have to think about it because I'm not the type of nigga that just dick rides Rayquaza. Hold on. Shut the fuck up. Jesus. Um. I'm like going through every single legendary in my head right now. Because realistically, I never really much cared about the. Actually, you know what? I'm finally gonna get to like finishing. I say finishing, really starting. Like actually like getting full into Scarlet and Violet probably tomorrow. I just haven't had the time to dedicate an entire day to it. I will come back to that question once I experience those two legendaries. But I guess for the time being, it would probably be probably just Mewtwo because I'm a Kanto baby. Really, I'm a Hoenn baby, but my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Leaf Green, and then I played Emerald when it came out. Don't really have an opinion yet. Haven't played enough of it yet, unfortunately. Haven't been able to. I unfortunately have not been able to play enough of it recently. I actually need to I actually need to charge my Switch whole time. Pretty sure my Switch is dead. This whole thing, you'd never believe there was alcohol in it because I felt none of it. Which is unacceptable. You can't have a vibe session and just not feel shit. So I have this bullshit right here that's 75.5% alcohol. Fucking overproof. But the problem is it tastes like, or it smells like straight rubbing alcohol. Like the type of shit that would make you go, ah, you bastard, whenever your parents put it on you when you fell off your bike. So, I cannot for the life of me. 151 proof. This shit smells and tastes fucking awful. So what I'm gonna do is pour a little bit of this in and then mask it with some Jack. And then pour an obnoxious amount of soda on top of it. That right there may actually be enough to ruin this entire big ass mug. Like, I'm not even kidding. That's how bad this shit is. Not my bougie ass getting notifications on my watch. We'll try and fix it with some Jack Daniels. Some cherry 7-Up. And some bold ginger ale, whatever the fuck that means. Bet that sounds fantastic in the mic, by the way, since it's right fucking next to it. How great does that sound in the microphone right now? Why is it so dark? Why was that actually like the fourth most racist thing I've ever said on these streams? Relax, it's only the fourth. Also, where in the bikini bottom fuck? Why can I never find anything when I actually need it? There it is, you fucking whore. Alright, I think it's time we get into the true vibe session feel. This is what the vibe sessions truly are. Now we're in the true vibe session feel. Wanted to give stream enough time to look at the new member clearly, but now we are in true vibe session fashion. With an actual drink in the mug, we got the lights going. And the vapor blowing. Look here, bastard. We did the logistics. We did the math. She's legal. I feel like for like a split second, the figures would look cool in all that smoke. They kind of do. Except the ones that completely disappear in it. Yeah, the demon from the Ring movies. Turn this fucking heater off. Because the fucking heating system's on again. But she's alive again, right? So, what is the protocol for fucking a zombie? What's the protocol for fucking like a spirit or a zombie or some shit? You want to know what's crazy? I still taste that bum-ass rum, but all of the other flavors are just enough to make it tolerable. Keep in mind, only about like 1% of this big-ass mug had that rum in it. Maybe like 2%. It's fucking wild. But that's the thing. It's not... The demon isn't possessing its own dead body. It's a completely spiritual thing. So the body isn't dead. It's a whole spirit. It's a spirit taking physical form. So it's not a dead body. It's a spirit. So what's the protocol? The physical form that has been taken just so happens to be the same body, but it's not the same body. It's not being a lightweight, bro. If you smelled that rum, you would instantly want to throw it into the sun. I can handle alcohol. Good alcohol. That shit is 75.5% and it costs $20. You know that's fucking shit. You know that's some shit alcohol right there. Also, my drinks usually had like 3 to 4 things in them. Not really. That's a whole nother plane of existence. If you're religious, then you believe you have a spirit within your body. The spirit and the body are not connected, technically. They're two different things that are occupying the same space. The physical form and the spiritual form are two different things occupying the same space. They just look the same. Yeah, but the spirit isn't the thing that's dead. So, if you're fucking the spirit, then that... Because spirits don't live and die. They're these eternal things. So if you're fucking a spirit, you're just fucking an immortal. So, no necrophilia. Because they can't die. I mean, I guess you can technically kill a spirit, but they don't just die. See, that's what happens when the lights go off. The lights go off, we get into some deep shit at 1:30 in the morning. I don't have to work today, so we're here for the long haul, boys. We here till like 2:33 in the morning. Or when the obnoxious amount of alcohol in this glass makes me want to, and then we leave. Whichever comes first. 3 a.m. or If anything, you want to know what I want to do? Because I'm being honest. I still taste that fucking rum. And oh my god, it's so bad. It's so bad. I actually can't deal with it. I can't. It is so terrible. I need something better. Alright, I've grabbed my comically huge Harry Potter mug. Here it is. I think I've only ever showed this on stream once. This is my comically huge Harry Potter mug. Yay! Oh, the foam! I did not take the foam into consideration. I now have to wash my dog's bed. Turn your brightness up. Right, so sodas fizz up and they foam up. I can see me just fine through my other phone. But I can go ahead and turn on the lamp. I wait for all this fucking foam to go away. Oh. There's still a lot of foam. Also, all of my drinks are over there. God damn it! Alright, hold on. I'll finish making the mug over here. Throw a little rosé in there, because why not? Anything to mask that stupid ass rum. What the fuck? Alright, peace out. So much better. The fact that I need a mug this big just to mask a tiny amount of that rum should tell you something. Oh. I mean, Ultra Gogeta Blue is a just flat out better unit than Rose. It's honestly not that much of a hot take. Rose is about as good as an above average extreme, so. Ugh. Alright, chat. What are we gonna do? For like the next hour or something? Y'all want to do a flat Earth debunk? I don't know. I kind of feel like looking up some random ass flat Earth video and debunking it. Maybe an Electric Universe video. That's the wrong thing. There we go. Let's see. Let's see if I can't find a good flat Earth defending. Hold up. Fucking spelled that wrong. What the hell? Okay, nothing came up when I searched that. How about flat Earth proof? I feel like YouTube actively wants to keep me away from that content. Wait, I get to debunk flat Earth and the Bible at the same time? Oh, please come at me.
Guys, so have you ever seen those viral?
Hold on. Wait, no. Wait. Are you debunking this, or are you...
videos of teenagers trying to figure out how to use unfamiliar tools from the distant past, like rotary phones?
Are you debunking this?
They're funny to watch and all, but there's a lesson.
Or
Before you can use something properly and effectively, you have to understand how it works.
hold on, I need to go check the comments section of this video before I actually watch it, so that I know if I'm getting into the real thing or. Okay, the comments seem to be against him, so this might work.
Guys, so
Let's go!
Those viral videos of teenagers trying to figure out how to
Wait, I have to pee. Again, because alcohol runs straight through me. You people know this. Ah, the benefits of having a bathroom right next to you. Anyway. Let us debunk both Flat Earth and the Bible at the same time.
use unfamiliar tools from the distant past, like rotary phones.
Pick up the phone and then do it.
They're funny to watch and all, but there's a lesson there. Before you can use something properly and effectively, you have to understand how it works and how it was intended to be used. When you don't take time to understand the thing, you end up looking a little silly and in extreme cases may end up hurting yourself or others.
This morning, I knocked myself in the head with the phone.
Like teenagers with rotary phones, the Bible is a spiritual tool that all too often we don't know how to use. In this video, we're going to look at one common misunderstanding about the Bible and how we can readjust in order to use this equipment properly. Let's jump in. Alright, so before we get into an example from the Bible, we need to lay some groundwork. Today, most people believe, and rightly so, that the Earth is a globe suspended in space, orbiting the sun. This is our modern understanding of the universe. But, for example, in the ancient Middle East, people generally believed that the Earth was the shape of a flat disk supported by massive pillars. Overhead was a solid dome called the firmament, which kept out the cosmic waters surrounding the Earth.
It's fucking
Within the dome,
stupid.
you have the sun, moon, stars, the dry land, oceans, rivers, etc. Some people describe this model as sort of an inverse snow globe, where the inhabitable space is on the inside and the water is on the outside. It's sort of like Sandy's tree dome from SpongeBob. This was the predominant understanding of the universe in the ancient Middle East.
Hi, can you stop
The
trying to give me a
Bible is an
fucking
ancient Middle
seizure?
Eastern text, but it is also scripture, the Word of God, right? So quiz time. When we read the Bible, should we expect to find the incorrect
Yeah, pretty
but
much.
popular cosmology of ancient times, or should we expect to find our correct but modern understanding of the universe? Well, let's take a sample from the creation account in Genesis chapter 1 and see which model fits.
Ah.
Verses 6 and 7 before dry land and all that good
I
stuff.
have to
And
hear
God said,
Bible.
"Let there be
I have to
a
hear
firmament
Bible
in the
babble.
midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so." It's the ancient model. In fact, acknowledging this ancient context really helps make sense of these verses. Without that context, it's just really hard to figure out what's going on here.
Hey! What's going on here?
But here's the problem.
You
Not
fucking
all
Disney
many Christians
shit.
believe that because
Fuck.
the Bible is scripture, because it's the word of God and God breathed, it cannot be wrong about
I'm gonna say this right now. The Bible is a lot of things. God's word is not one of them.
anything. It is inerrant. In other words, the Bible is a book of divine facts. For example, consider this quote from a popular Christian website. When all the facts are known, the scriptures will be shown to be wholly true in everything they affirm, whether that has to do with doctrine or morality or with the social, physical, or life sciences. What the prophets say is what God says, and no human error is mixed in with it.
Except the fact that the Bible was written by humans!
This is what you believe about Scripture. When you find things like this incorrect model of the universe in the Bible, it may be troubling to you.
So everything I thought, everything I am, is a lie.
And different people handle this issue in different ways. Some people will end up rejecting the Bible as inspired scripture. Other people, since the Bible simply can't be wrong, will reinterpret it in such a way that it veers away from this model of the universe. Others will adopt a more narrow view of inerrancy. The Bible might get some science stuff wrong, but everything else is right. And others will pause to reevaluate some of these deeper assumptions about the Bible they've brought to the table. Maybe the whole idea of inerrancy itself amounts to a misunderstanding of how this rotary phone is supposed to be used. For
Realistically, the comments were actually more at him about the Bible part, not the flat earth part. So, let's see where he goes
Pete
with
Enns,
this.
who is a professor of biblical studies at Eastern University, wrote, Genesis and modern science are neither enemies nor friends, but two different ways of describing the world according
Pretty
to
much.
the means available to the people living at these different times. It is important to remember that God always speaks in ways that people can actually understand. In the ancient world, people held certain views about the world around them. Those views are also reflected in
God always speaks in ways that people can understand. Yeah, that's why the Bible's been translated 10,000 times.
Genesis. If we keep this in mind, much of the conflict can subside. God tailors revelation to the understanding and cultural context of the imperfect people who receive, interpret, and express that revelation. It's okay for Scripture to use an incorrect model of the universe to convey a message that is astronomically, no pun intended, more important, that God is the creator. Is God trying to deceive people? Of course not. That said, this concept may lead to the question if there can be things in the Bible.
Is God trying to deceive people? No. Even though he makes his very existence unfalsifiable and in fact goes out of his way to make sure you can't prove that he exists. He's definitely not trying to fool people though.
That simply aren't true, how can we believe anything the Bible has to say? This is
You
one
can't.
reason why some people grasp onto this idea of biblical inerrancy so tightly, because as another popular Christian website says, if the Bible is fallible, we as Christians have nothing on which to base our beliefs. And even though we Latter-day Saints reject the idea of biblical inerrancy, many of us ask this same question about modern prophets. If they can get things wrong sometimes, how can I trust anything they have to say? But imagine if we extended this logic into other realms of life. For example, on occasion, your eyes might deceive you. Does that mean you should just wear a blindfold all the time? Sometimes modern science gets things wrong.
I heard about Pluto. It's messed up, right?
Should we just abandon science altogether? Of course not.
Here's the difference between your eyes, science, and God. God is an all-powerful, all-knowing magic boy who knows everything that ever has and ever will happen. So we shouldn't get anything wrong.
Despite the possibility for error, everyone still has rational faith that things like science and your eyes are reliable sources. I think the same principle applies to the scriptures and modern prophets. Now, in this episode, we've explored just one way we might be using the Bible, our spiritual rotary phone, incorrectly. There are lots of other important factors we need to consider as we approach Scripture, but we'll save those for future episodes. If you want to learn more about this subject,
The biggest thing I can say about that video is if the Bible can't be taken literally, then it's not God's word. Because God is all-powerful and all-knowing, which means he physically cannot. It should be impossible for his word to be wrong. He can't get things wrong because he's all-knowing. If you possess infinite knowledge, You can't be wrong. Ah. Oh, I don't like people. The Firmament short film. Let's see. Is this like a meme thing, or is someone actually trying to prove the firmament?
The birds turned we, our mind and heart away. To chase new joy and love, the stars we comb. The fruit of ecstasy sustains by day.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If you can't understand what he's saying, don't worry. It's not the mic or anything. I can barely understand what the fuck he's saying either.
But by our own in night we thirst for home.
Autopilot set for Sinai. We've got a few minutes.
Great. Thank you, Captain.
Just Zakia's fine. Vic, right?
Aptly burned.
Sorry.
What is happening? What are you moving past? What are all these dots you're moving past? That's not how space works. You're not unless you are literally flying at like 1,000,000 times the speed of light. You would not be seeing all these little dots. I'm
Oh.
obviously representing stars flying past you.
Well, it's not for everybody. But most of my students seem to enjoy it.
Oh, so you're a teacher.
Yes, a professor.
What I thought you actually believed in Earth.
I do.
What?
Well, I do. I believe in Earth.
Huh.
Are these supposed to be aliens
I
coming
guess
to
we're all
Earth?
entitled to our beliefs.
Yes.
I'm so confused. What is happening?
So, why Sinai?
April 30th. 32. 32. Next came our vessel Grand, the wrath of space, where asteroids smash and clang with booming cry. In cautious speed we slow crave death's embrace. What shameful mutineers drove us to die.
Hang on, a poem. You paid for this entire trip based off of a poem?
Well, of course not. I couldn't have paid for this.
A grant.
A gift.
Go on, keep reading.
The God of
Don't
silence
look at me,
saw
you
the ship
fucking
come
asshole.
to. Its crushing stones beat down our hull like
I'm
drums.
bored. Shut up. I'm bored. Wait, I know who we need to look up. Hold on. Wait, I know an exact person we need to look up. I gotta get rid of all this other shit. What the hell is this?
This is 10 reasons why gravity pisses me off. And let's just start with, I'm not even going to count this as one of them, but it's a meme.
So this is literally from one day ago. It's a guy named Hans Wormhat. Why gravity pisses me off, huh? Alright, let's go.
This is 10 reasons why gravity pisses me off. And let's just start with, I'm not even going to count this as one of them, but it's a meme about gravity. It gets talked about so much. Gravity's just a theory, it's not a fact. And so let's just read this. Universal gravity is a theory, not a fact, regarding the natural law of attraction. This material should be approached with an open mind, studied carefully, and critically considered. The universal theory of gravity is often taught in schools as a fact, when in fact it is not even a good theory. I was just surprised that this popped up the first thing when I typed in gravity is just a theory into Google. Usually these days they hop.
No fucking shit that would appear if you type in gravity just a theory. And first of all, universal gravity is different from regular gravity, you fucking narc. Universal gravity is entire galaxies being pulled towards something, whereas localized gravity is Earth. You fucking narc. For example, obviously.
Hide any type of material that might be leading people in correct directions towards truth. But this is something that you hear growing up all the time. Well, gravity is just a theory. But most people don't continue on in that thought to tell you the importance of that. Gravity is just a theory. It's a made-up theory that isn't even true, and it's not a...
Also, you don't understand the term scientific theory. If something in the scientific community has become a theory, that means it's the most agreed upon option. Nothing is certain, and science never pretends like anything is 100%. For all we know, every single thing we've ever learned could be wrong. That's entirely possible. So everything is just a theory. There is nothing that is 100%. The only thing, hell, you even existing is not 100% because we could be living in a fucking simulation.
Good one. And so let's get to the beginning. Newton is a bitch. The very first time somebody tried talking to me about gravity, I knew they were full of crap. But the way that this place operates is through repetition. You'll be forced into believing what they want you to because they just keep pounding it into your brain year after year after year. And there's even some spellcraft with the word gravity that I'll get to at the end.
Spellcraft?
But, so gravity, you're sitting there in class, the teacher tells you about an apple and a tree falling from an apple, and the very first thing that came into my mind was, okay, what do you expect to happen? You have an apple, which is clearly more dense, heavy, as a child. Maybe my notions of density weren't perfect, but as a child I knew, okay, wait, but you have this apple. It's a lot heavier than air, right? Where do you want it to go? Where do you expect this thing to go? It's gonna go down when the tree...
Alright, so the apple's heavier than air. The apple is also heavier than space. Would it go down in space? No! So where are you going with this, sir?
Doesn't support it anymore. That's something that I already knew existed as a child. It didn't need a new name. It didn't need to be a theory. It was something I already knew about. Hey, if you have something that's more dense than air and it's not supported by anything, it goes down.
First of all, everything has a name. Second of all, air has nothing to do with it. I mean, it does. Obviously, if a single oxygen atom weighed 10 tons, then yeah, your fucking apple wouldn't fall. But, hello? But, what are you just keep going.
And so that's the very first thing about gravity that pisses me off is I've always known it's a bunch of bullshit, and it's something that people should already have intuition about at the age that they're being brainwashed, but they just pound it out of you. They pound you into submission through repetition, brainwashing.
No, they don't. If anything, I don't think there was a single time throughout my entire public school life where I got taught the laws of gravity. Maybe in like fucking middle school for like one class in 7th grade. Because I think I took a science class in like 7th grade, and that was it. But most of that science class was just watching Bill Nye videos and then doing tests. So...
My second reason gravity pisses me off. Gravity is not G, 9.8 meters per second squared. Gravity is the insane theory that mass attracts mass.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Technically.
that's the biggest one. This is the biggest hurdle that most people don't ever get over. Most people, they can't even get...
Guarantee you I jump over this hurdle with inches to spare. My fucking thing disconnected. There we go.
It past this hurdle of, did you know that gravity is not the idea that things fall? People literally think that gravity is the reason they don't fly off into the sky.
I mean,
Where it's
technically
like, why
it
would you
is.
fly off into the sky? You're more dense than air. Where do you expect yourself to go? You don't need the Earth to suck you into it, the mass of the Earth to bend space-time, okay? That's sci-fi. That's what they try to teach you.
All I hear is complicated thing I don't understand, so it must not exist.
Is gravity. That Earth is somehow so massive, it's bending space-time and sucking you towards it.
Do you have any idea how big the Earth is compared to you? Shit!
So another thing that I want to talk about, G, little g, 9.8 meters per second squared is not gravity.
It's
When
the
we
rate
talk
of
to people
gravity
about
on
gravity's
Earth.
fake, outer space is fake, etc., etc.
Outer space is fake!
One of their favorite thoughts.
Hold up, you can't just walk past that. Outer space is fake. You can't just walk past that and expect me not to have questions.
Experiments to come up with is, well, how come stuff falls in a vacuum? Which it shows that they have
Doesn't?
no understanding of up and down. Let's say you put an object in a vacuum. Any
Up and down is like time. It only works if you have something to measure it against. Up and down doesn't exist in space unless you have the perspective of up and down. But if you were just, boom, teleported into outer space, you'd have no concept of what is up, down, left, or right. Whatever direction you decide to go in, you can say it's that direction, but how do you know that's actually the direction you're going in? So, up and down is something that really only exists when gravity is at play.
object is more dense than a vacuum, so it's going to go down. There's nothing magical about that. You don't need gravity.
Also, things don't just fall down in a vacuum. They float. They'll go in whatever direction you push them in.
Things that are more dense than the medium that they're suspended in go down. That's one of the facts of the way that God made this place. It actually...
Oh, God. Jesus. But how do you explain things falling on a planet like Saturn, then? If you drop something into Saturn, it would fall. But Saturn is less dense than water. So, say you had an inflatable, one of those inflatable rings. They float on water. But if you dropped it into Saturn, it would still fall. Even though that thing would be less dense than Saturn. How do you explain that one, genius?
Goes back to Genesis 1. If you read Genesis 1, one of the very first things in Genesis 1 is that God created, there was a face of waters. And that was one of the first things. There was just water. Water always finds its level, and it's flat. And you got water, and then you got the air above it. Buoyancy was already established just at the very beginning.
This motherfucker is one of those water doesn't curve people. What the hell do you call the liquid in here then? Sure, it's level, but it's also curved around the container. Water can be level and curved at the same time, dumbass. Jesus fucking Christ.
And up and down. The important thing is up and down was established at the start.
Up and down only works here.
And so the 9.8 thing. So in my mind, the whole thing about
Your very tiny, insignificant mind.
bowling balls and feathers fall at the same rate inside of a vacuum, if anything, that proves that gravity is a bunch of bullshit. If the reason that things fell was because mass was attracting mass, then you would expect a bowling ball to fall faster than a feather in a vacuum. Because the bowling ball should be pulling itself to the earth more than...
If a bowling ball is being pulled to the earth, it's not in a vacuum. What is wrong with you? If it's being pulled into the earth, that means it's still in the earth's atmosphere. And again, things don't fall in a vacuum. Oh, you make my head hurt. What? Yes, a bowling ball and a feather would act the same way in a real vacuum. Oh, Lord. What is wrong with you? In order to be in an actual vacuum, you'd need to leave the solar system. Because even if you left Earth's atmosphere, guess what? You're still affected by the sun's gravity. So if you're still within the sun's range of gravity, you're not in a true vacuum. Oh.
a feather. So that's just another thing. They oftentimes have these wild. Their arguments aren't good, and
Our arguments aren't good, but yours is. His argument is good. Nah. His argument is good though. Nah, fuck it. His argument is fucking flawless. Oh. Oh, I hate people. We're only 5 minutes and 44 seconds into this 25-minute and 45-second video.
they try to prove things by just mystifying people. Like, yeah, that's a pretty cool fact that in a vacuum, a feather and a bowling ball falls at the same rate.
They don't fall.
Gravity. Like I just said, if anything, the fact that they fall at the same rate in a vacuum kind of goes against the idea of gravity, mass attracting mass. But if you understand that all that there is buoyancy, then that shouldn't be surprising at all. Why wouldn't a feather fall at the same rate as a bowling ball if you take out the only thing that would make something fall slower? Air resistance, right? What would make something fall up slow?
Air resistance. What the fuck is weight? I want you to explain what weight is without gravity. And why on other planets with weaker gravity, you weigh less. And on planets with higher gravity, you weigh more. Explain to me why your weight is not a fixed number.
Or it would be air resistance. So if you remove that, yeah, objects are going to fall at the same rate because everything falls at a constant rate. 9.8, that's just a way, it's a physical constant of a way that God made this place. It has nothing to do with mass attracting mass. Okay, I need to move on.
Please.
However, before I move on from this picture, there's a very important thing from this picture. If you understand that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, this picture right here proves that gravity is fake. And that gravity is only.
How do you insult Sir Isaac Newton and then use one of his laws to try and prove your point? How do you tell us that Sir Isaac Newton is wrong and then use one of his laws to prove your own point? I'm not drunk enough for this bullshit. I'm not even drunk. I feel like I gotta finish this whole ass mug before I'm in the right state of mind to deal with this bullshit. Oh God.
Buoyancy. Because look, the two equal and opposite forces that we have at play in here, they're telling us that gravity is the force pushing down, and then that buoyancy is the force pushing up. But those are equal and opposite forces. They're the same thing. It's just two different sides of the same coin. It's not a different force, gravity and buoyancy. They're literally the same force. They are the equal and opposite forces that determine whether things go up and down.
God damn it.
And it's the same thing. It's
I want that Tommaso.
giving it a different name for when things go down. That's what they do. And then they brainwash people into thinking that somehow the theory of gravity, mass attracting mass, which is wildly unproven. When in your science classes did you prove mass attracts mass? I'm not going to get into the Cavendish experiment in this video. That's a whole nother topic. Anyways.
Ah, yes.
There.
The Cavendish experiment. Just bring up the experiment that proves that mass attracts mass and just write it off like it doesn't exist. Yep, fair enough.
People need, the very first step to waking up to the bullshit of gravity is to understand that gravity is not the same thing as stuff falls. Okay? Stuff falls because of buoyancy. That's it. Okay, number 3. Gravity
Bruh.
is sci-fi bullshit theory that they use to explain everything away. And this is part of the magic of gravity, is that they equate gravity with something so set in stone like stuff falls, which everybody should already just totally understand from a young age, that stuff that's not supported falls because it's more dense than air. They make people
Density
think
is
that
fuck all to do with it.
gravity is that set in stone as the idea that stuff falls. So people go along their lives, it's the same thing as the way that they mock flat earth. They get people to, what, you don't believe in gravity? And then they'll like jump up. How come I'm not floating off? Well, it's because you're more dense than air. It has nothing to do with mass attracting mass. Yes, I am dubious of the...
Again, what happens when you introduce something that is less dense than the medium you're putting it in and it still falls? Again, anything that is not dense enough to sink in water would still fall on Saturn. You cunt.
claim that mass attracts mass. And I'm very dubious of the claim that the reason that I'm stuck here on flat ground is somehow because the mass beneath me is so massive that space-time itself is bent and it's like sucking me into it like a vortex. Does anyone feel like sucked towards the earth, like their mass is being attracted? So I want to read these quotes. So, I mean, to finish that thought process, because they get people to think that gravity is as well established as stuff falls.
I'm over here ordering DoorDash too.
Gravity to explain away almost anything. Oh yeah, it's gravity. Because Because in people's minds, they'll be like, oh, well, that's a well-established, truthy thing. Gravity, I see stuff fall all the time. Okay. I like this quote by Albert Einstein. You can't blame gravity for falling in love. It's like Albert knew that gravity gets used for everything, gets blamed for everything. If there's some wacky phenomenon, blame gravity. Even though they tell us buoyancy, i.e. gravity, is the weakest force. There is
Yeah.
gravity in wisdom, but no particular wisdom in gravity. I agree.
Hold on.
The-
Let me actually touch on that. Gravity is the weakest force. Yes, it is. Because do you have any idea how massive an object has to be in order to have any significant gravity to it? Like, think about how small you are compared to the Earth. You would not attract mass in the same way that the Earth does. I'd be hard pressed to say that a human is massive enough to even have fucking quantum particles orbit it. So, yeah, gravity is a pretty weak force. It needs massive bodies just to do anything.
Gravity is the first thing which you don't think. That's an interesting quote by Albert Einstein. If it
High
is a
on
real
life.
quote.
What the hell is that?
Okay. I'm gonna switch gears to something a little bit more mathy, I guess.
Ooh, math
Number
is my
4,
strong
the
suit.
three-body problem. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because it's complicated mathematics. The general gist of why gravity is...
You probably just don't
three-body
understand the
problem-
math. Guarantee you. Guarantee he just doesn't understand the math. That's why he's not going to talk about it.
Excuse me. Their whole notion of this universe that... Okay. Remember I just said that they admit that gravity is the weakest force. Then how is allegedly in the entire universe formed by gravity? It would be formed by the more strong forces. So it's because it doesn't exist.
Huh? Where have you ever let me stop. But seriously, where the fuck have you ever heard that the universe was formed by gravity? Gravity was the last force to appear. Are you fucking mental?
That mass does not attract mass in that way, in the way that they claim. That's not the reason that things fall. Okay. The three-body problem is the fact that if we make these assumptions about gravity, if we pretend that we live in a place where mass attracts mass, even having three objects, so like sun, moon, earth, if these things are balls and they do attract each other with their mass, that's called the three-body problem. It's chaotic. It doesn't have a nice solution. And what is our solar system? How many bodies are in this? What they claim to be a system revolving just on gravity?
Yeah,
So
how
this
many?
is something to go look into.
Yeah, nah. Answer your own fucking question. How many? Because if gravity didn't exist, why are hundreds, if not thousands of bodies orbiting one star? Why are they all in this, not circle, but secular orbit? And why doesn't the sun just pull everything in the universe towards it? Why does it have a stopping point? Why does it get weaker the further you go out? Also, another needle in the idea that density means a fucking thing. There are plenty of elements and atoms on this planet that could never escape the planet that are far less dense than oxygen.
So I'll read certain parts of what I screenshotted. Unlike two-body problems, no general closed-form solution exists, as the resulting dynamic system is chaotic for most initial conditions. So
Hold on. Let me actually read this. In physics and classical mechanics, the three-body problem is the problem of taking the initial positions of velocities or momentae of three-point masses and solving for their subsequent motion according to Newton's law of motion and Newton's law of universal gravitation. The three-body problem is a special case of the n-body problem. Unlike two-body problems, no general closed-form solution exists, as the resulting dynamical system is chaotic for most initial conditions. The numerical methods are generally required. Huh? Explain yourself.
And so what this always reminds me of, the fact that the three-body problem is actually chaotic, and it's very hard to compute. We'll get to that in a second.
It's very hard
This
for
just
you
always
to
reminds me of the
compute.
mocking that they do with. They'll tell you that they can. Oh yeah, we sent a satellite to Neptune. It slingshotted around one of Neptune's moons. They can't calculate this stuff to incredible.
Why can't they? It's all just numbers. If you're good with numbers, you can calculate that shit. Neptune is X amount of miles away from us. We need X amount of propulsion. We need to be able, if we want to use some gravitational forces to give us a little push to get a bit further, we know we need to put this satellite in this position at this time, at this speed. It's all just numbers, my guy. It's not that hard. I mean, yes, actually solving those equations is difficult. But if you know how to solve those equations, it's just math. It's just numbers, dude. It's just not that complicated.
Accuracy? No. Even just a simple three-body problem is chaotic and doesn't have good solutions. Okay. This goes all the way back to Newton.
Again!
Anyways, you can see that people continue to work on this. It became of technical.
Also, yes, read a portion of this article entirely out of context. I'm sure that won't make you look like a total bellend.
Importance in the 1720s as an accurate solution would be applicable to navigation, determination of longitude at sea. So here's the thing, people have traveled the seas while knowing that it's flat. You get people that come up out of the woodworks, how do you travel the seas without GPS? Okay, sorry that people today are boneheaded and they can't do anything without an electronic telling them the answer to things, but
You couldn't even use an electronic to give you the answers to the questions you already have. But, you do understand that when people did think the Earth was flat, they didn't mean anything. You can still get to where you need to be on a flat Earth model, just your timing would be off. And it usually was. And I guarantee you, if you name anyone, I could probably tell you that they didn't believe the Earth was flat. Like Christopher Columbus. He knew the Earth was round. So that one won't help you, but you know what? Let's just see where you go with this.
I guarantee to you that there were people in the past who knew Earth was flat and they navigated just fine. Just read the bottom sentence. However, the accuracy of the lunar theory was low, and then they
Like I said, yes, you can get from point A to B on a flat Earth model. Just your timing would be off and your route would be stupid as hell, but you'd get there. Yes, you would eventually arrive at your destination.
Give some excuses. They're a lot of times their maths are just complete bullshit, and then they'll just make up excuses for it. Yeah, the accuracy was very.
Their math is complete bullshit. Then do the math. Do the math, test it for yourself, and then tell me it's bullshit. Until you do that, shut the fuck up.
Again, you could go research the three-body problem. People are still working on this stuff in 2017. If Xi Zhen Liao
2017, you uploaded this video 1 day ago. You're not even like dating this. I mean, I know the article he's reading says in 2017, but you know there's no field of science that is still not being researched, right? Like I said earlier, nothing's 100%. Everything that has ever been discovered is still under scrutiny today. Because that's what science is.
are making new
The entire point of science is to disprove itself. And when it can no longer disprove itself, that's when you have a theory. Ugh.
strategies for three-body problems. How's NASA slingshotting things around the sun 15 times and then around Venus and then wherever, you know?
Nothing we've ever sent into space has gone around the sun 15 times. What are you talking about? I mean, I guess technically things have done a full rotation around the sun that many times, but nothing has ever been slingshot around the sun 15 fucking times. What are you talking about? That's a minor point, though.
So while a system of three bodies interacting gravitationally is chaotic, and if you know something about the people who run this place, they...
Also, I'm sorry that chaotic doesn't work for you, but the universe is a very chaotic place. Nothing is really uniform in the universe, even if it looks that way. Our solar system looks uniform, but there's a lot of nonsense happening daily. So, the term chaotic is completely useless.
They thrive on this concept of making people believe that they live in a chaotic place. Okay, but a chaotic system would mean that it doesn't do what we see. What do we see on Earth? You can build a building on Earth, and every year the sun will shine through the same exact spot, the same exact place. You can build your build.
No, it won't. Every day the sun will shine in a different spot. I mean, obviously, I know what he means. But if you actually look, the sun does not shine in the exact spot twice in 1 year. Because that's not how that works. Yes, while the sun is covering half the planet at all times, the angle will always be slightly different every day, taking a full year to get back to the exact angle it was at before.
Things to line up with the constellations, and hundreds of years later, that guess what? They're still going to line up with the constellations because it's not a chaotic system. That's not chaotic. It's static.
Yeah, 100 years is nothing. In 100,000 years, the constellations will change, and be not a single one that exists today will exist then. I'm sorry that astronomical phenomena don't conform to your lifespan, but yeah, shit changes all the time. In fact, there's a good percentage of stars in the night sky that you can look at right now that aren't actually there anymore. So, get to fuck.
Think about it. So let's get into. Oh, I guess I have one more point about the three-body problem. I say this a lot. It's kind of a mathy thing when I say it.
And math is my thing.
This Earth system, the universe, everything we can observe is discrete, meaning step by step. 1, 2, day 1, day 2, day 3. It's not continuous. It's not like it started all of a sudden and then the stopwatch is just running for the rest of eternity. No, God started it, and then there was the first day, and then there was the second day. This place works off of counting numbers. It's not continuous. Okay.
You do understand that days are a man-made concept, right? I mean, he's technically not wrong, but that has nothing to do with the three-body problem. But, I mean, whatever, I guess.
Look at the cartoons that we get here. The fifth thing that pisses me off about gravity is that they try to say that gravity is the reason that the tides happen. The tides are very mysterious. I'm not going to claim to even understand how...
Gravity does affect the tides. The pull from the sun and the pull from the moon. Mainly the moon. The moon is what creates our tides. The sun has some influence, but not enough for it to matter. If the moon disappeared today, the Earth's oceans would be pretty much stationary.
Tides work, but it is not because the moon is pulling on the... That is just a bullshit lie that they say to explain away the tides. And this is where...
Explain why. Why is it? I mean, I'm sure you're going to get to your asinine reasoning, but... if it's not the moon, then what makes water move? Because without some sort of outside force, liquid stays stationary.
Going back to Albert Einstein, you can't blame gravity for love, but you can blame it for pretty much anything else out there. Oh, the tides are very mysterious, so let's just say that it's gravity that's doing all the work. And I guess just to explain why I don't think that the tides line up at all with the
Pretty
moon
much.
and the sun.
Moon
You
water.
can have the sun and the moon both in the sky, but have a low tide. So, anyways,
What does that have to do with anything? Again, the sun does very, very little to our tides. Yes, again, it does affect it, but with the sun, you'd get nothing more than the equivalent of some kid splashing in a pool. You would not get these fucking waves that you get from the moon. But what the fuck do both of them being in the sky at the same time have to do with anything? Which, by the way, entirely disproves flat Earth. Because you shouldn't be able to see them both at the same time. I mean, I guess you would be able to, but the sun and the moon would always have to be opposite each other, which they're not always. Sometimes the sun and the moon can be on the same plane. You can look at one end and get blinded by the sun, and you can look at the other end in the same direction, same orientation, and see the moon. So that by itself disproves flat Earth entirely. But this isn't about flat Earth, this is about gravity. Which are usually one and the same, but shut up.
I just think that the tides are very interesting and confusing phenomenon, and they're able to just explain it away.
Interesting, yes.
Magical
Confusing,
gravity,
no.
Which is actually the weakest force.
It is.
And again, there's no such thing as gravity, it's just buoyancy. So what really does cause the tides? I have no idea. Maybe it's electrical. That's a lot of the stuff probably.
This bitch said, I don't know, maybe it's electrical. What electrical current are you putting in our water, nigga? What fucking electricity are you putting in our water? What is wrong with you?
It is electrical, instead of gravity, and that's where modern science. There is a grain of truth in certain things. When scientists do science, like they do collect data sometimes, it's just that the sandbox that they're playing in is all wrong. But maybe. So I'm just bringing up things that I think of when I research gravity. People bring up, or you know, the Earth spinning. They bring up pendulums and how pendulums. They have these pendulums in the grand old cathedrals. It's very interesting that that's where they put them. But the pendulums always look metallic, and I'm like, well, how do we know that this doesn't have something to do with electromagnetism? With the thing is they'll present you with something mysterious. This is just an MO. This is why I'm explaining this. They present you with something mysterious like the tides, and then they say, here you go, I have the answer. And all that they're presenting you is some bullshit explanation. They're not proving anything. Nobody has ever proved. To you that the moon causes the tides. They've just suggested it, and they make this tangled web of lies, this house of cards, tidal locking. They also try to explain this into the moon only having one side. We only ever see one face of the moon. Why do people think it's a ball? It's a disc. The sun and the moon are discs. It's also why they have hard edges.
Huh? Huh? I don't get paid enough for this shit.
You can't have an object that's allegedly millions of miles away that has a hard edge to it. Just think about that.
I'm guessing you're talking about the sun because the moon is 300,000 kilometers, but it doesn't. Is he talking about the fact that you only ever see like a circle? Because if you zoom, if you take a regular ball and you go far enough away from it, you're gonna only see the front of that ball and it's just gonna look like a circle. Do you not actually try anything before you call science bullshit? That's a stupid answer. Of course you don't. Or a stupid question, I should
Okay,
say.
continuing on. The sixth reason that that gravity pisses me off is that it creates a directionless, chaotic existence. I love knowing that there's
Actually, gravity is the very thing that creates direction, but okay.
only one up and there's only one down. If I hang a plumb
There
bob
is.
right here, if I hold something, my down is the same down as somebody in Australia. They are not upside down for me. It's ridiculous. And this is the thing that
They wouldn't be. I mean, from your perspective, if I insta-teleported you to Australia, sure, maybe you'd be on your fucking head. But, like... Oh. This is not fighting gravity. This whole video is just, I don't understand gravity, therefore fake.
people make fun of all the time. This is another joke that gets thrown around readily. You know, oh, down under. Those people in Australia that are underneath us. In order to believe in gravity, you really need to believe that there's people underneath you that are being sucked upwards towards you. It's ridiculous. And there's no proof of it. Who can prove to me that right now, the people in Australia, if they get a plumb bob, who can prove to me that their plumb bob is hanging towards me and that my plumb bob is hanging towards them?
Here's the difference between this idiot and Toy Time Town. Toy Time Town had inaccurate information, but they weren't trying to prove their bullshit right. They were just presenting inaccurate information to children. And that's why I initially went after them. This guy is actively trying to prove his bullshit and disprove what is fact. Toy Time Town, at the very least, it wasn't trying to prove its position nor disprove another position. It just simply presented inaccurate information. This motherfucker is trying to disprove what we know and put his own mindset onto other people. He is a million times worse than Toy Time Town. Because a child can watch that channel and then at least have a vague concept of the universe and then be corrected on it later. This motherfucker is actively going to brainwash people into thinking the way that he thinks. This is far more dangerous than that channel was. Far more. And this, like, he always talks about, oh, you learned this in school, which means he's targeting adults. At least if you do target a child, they can be taught out of that. If you convince an adult, that's it. That's their fucking mindset. So, this is far more dangerous and far more infuriating than that channel was.
Has anyone ever drilled through the whole Earth? Drilled to find China? They can't drill very far down, and it starts to get very hot, which is interesting. No liquid core found, though. Not like the cartoons. Okay.
You never get that far down because there's no metal in the universe that can handle that. Okay, that's not true. There are things in the universe that can handle that temperature, but we can't fucking build with them yet.
Seventh reason.
Also, you do so much harm to the planet by digging to its core. You have any idea how much you fuck up by digging to the Earth's core? You destroy like half the planet just by doing that.
That gravity pisses me off. Are the stupid tricks that they use to fake being weightless. They use vomit comets, reduced gravity aircraft. Scuba, NASA's grueling underwater test for astronauts. The ISS is in a pool. They do scuba. It's scuba. That's all it ever has been. That's all it ever will be. And it is water up there.
Read the fucking article that you just brought up. Beneath the surface, shrouded in this blush tint of water, is a replica of the International Space Station. This is how they train to be on the real one. You brought up an article that actively fights against what you're saying.
This is like a double thing. The fact that they do the ISS underwater, it's kind of hinting at the fact that space is water. What is space? I mean, maybe that...
No, it hints at the fact that being underwater is quite similar to being in outer space. Similar enough to do your training in it. Because underwater, you are essentially weightless. Not totally weightless, you can still sink. But with the proper tools and equipment, you can simulate zero gravity underwater.
That could be a whole video. Like, at a certain point, it is very mysterious. What the heck is Neptune? They'll tell us weird things like, on Uranus, it's raining diamonds. And they try to blow people's minds with facts like that. First of all, how could anyone corroborate something like that? Are you telling me that you have a test? Show me your test. Well,
Look them up!
What's your test for testing how it rains diamonds on Neptune? But the thing is that they just hypnotize people with nonsense like that, when in reality, it's probably much more interesting. I mean, maybe Neptune is a giant diamond of some sort, and it's
Look up the
who knows?
properties of
And
Neptune.
maybe they're done because the thing is that all of the questions that they get people to think about outer space still apply to real life, to reality. You know, God created the waters. Do the waters just extend indefinitely in all directions?
No.
I mean, buoyancy does exist, right? So the air does get layered even beyond the heavens. So does there become a vacuum at a certain point? Is that outer darkness? Is what they tell us like outer space? Is that just like outer darkness? Anyways, but the point of this video is gravity is bullshit. It's not balls. It's not space balls up there. And the mass of objects attracting the mass of other objects is fantasy. It's not reality. What about that time the astronaut nearly drowned in space? And you know, they get to say stuff like this and chuckle about it because space is everything. Space is all around us. It's right here. What? There's space right in front of me. So they don't even say outer space here. Astronaut nearly drowned in space. Well, what's space? Spacewalk. What? They're not. It's scuba. Anyways.
I'm actually gonna look up and read the article that he brought up instead of just reading the headline and thinking that it proves a point. Yep, this is the exact same one that he was reading. Let's see here. Skimming across it. Alright, so after reading that, you then have to look up water in the spacesuit. There you go. Spacesuits, water-filled spacesuits, protect them from the radioactivity from solar events. In the case of an emergency of a solar event, the water can shield you from radioactivity from solar rays. Boom. Done. He nearly drowned in his suit because of a malfunction that caused it to happen. A precaution that is taken in spacesuits malfunctioned, and it nearly drowned him. It took me 2 minutes. 2 minutes of research, if that, to completely disprove what he was talking about.
The eighth thing that pisses me off about gravity and sticking to the ISS and all that in this topic is just the mocking that goes with it. There's so much mocking that goes with it. They go over the top with it. Let's bring a dune buggy up. Let's go play golf on the moon. They're taking the piss. It can't be. It's not even good. That is part of the MO. Part of the MO of the way that these people work, it's not even good. They don't even fake it perfectly. They fake it with errors on purpose. That's part of the magic. They make it over the top on purpose. They make it not believable on purpose. Is it believable that they would bring a gorilla suit up on the ISS? Of course that's not believable. Let's do it.
Are astronauts not allowed to have fun? Like, hello, they're spending months at a time up there. Fuck it, I'd bring something to entertain me too. You know how fucking boring it could get being up there for that long? Especially if you're not actively doing stuff every day, which you usually aren't. So you're basically just saying that astronauts aren't allowed to have fun.
Is it believable that somebody would bring 4 different flutes? I don't know why. This like sticks with me. This stupid lady, just Strat, whatever. They were so smug talking about, oh, I brought 4 flutes on the space station. Do you really think somebody could bring 4 different flutes into outer space? Do you think that's a little excessive?
I think that's perfectly reasonable. Again, are astronauts not allowed to have fun? You do understand that oxygen and sound waves, they still travel in the space station, right? So you could use a flute inside the space station. Why not?
They also brought some other flute. You know what other flute this person's talking about? Yeah, the one in your pants, Pullman. Okay, so the 9th reason gravity pisses me off is how it's overused. Einstein had the great quote about, you can't blame gravity for falling in love. And it's the weakest force. I think that this is just a hint that it doesn't exist. Mass simply doesn't attract mass, but there is such thing as buoyancy. And the very last reason, the 10th reason that I hate gravity.
That was it? Your 9th reason was just you reiterating something you've been saying for the past 25 minutes. Okay, I've already destroyed you on that point, so I'm not going to do it again.
Is because it's just a key component of the satanic deception. Gravity is satanic. Buoyancy is the truth. Buoyancy is the truth. It's simple. It makes sense. Everybody understands it from a young age. Gravity is satanic deception that is essential to their whole ball earth lie. So that's why I hate it. And now I'm finally getting into, I mentioned earlier how there's some spellcraft with the word gravity. Well, they gave gravity a second meaning, which they love to do this, where let's just go ahead and define gravity to mean something so important and serious. So there's some spellcraft right there in the word. They make their fake thing serious just by declaring it to be. Gravity becomes this word meaning something very important and serious. Well, I hope
you understand that the term gravity, when used in a serious situation, like the gravity of the situation, only exists because of how strong gravity can be, right? When you think of gravity, you think of this thing that is stronger than you, more powerful than you. So when you say the gravity of the situation is dire, you're adding power to fucking... Oh, thank God this video's over. Oh, he was about to start his outro. Oh, thank fuck. 25 minutes. There's only 3 seconds left of this video, so you know what?
enjoyed this video, and God bless everyone.
Oh, God. Are you fucking retarded? Oh God, I don't want to go through a 21.5-minute video of reasons outer space is fake. This one's only 7 minutes long. Nobody climbs Mount Everest to the top.
Hunsworm Hat, this is a hoax I haven't talked about in a long time. People don't really climb Mount Everest. They don't. They lie about it. And it's actually a really, really recent lie. People, even I, thought that this would have been something that they claim happened in the 1800s. No, this is really recent that they claim this happened. From Reddit. 1953, Edmund Hillary, or Hillary Edmund, and Tenzing Norgay were the first human beings to ever reach the summit of Mount Everest. This is the only proof. It is a photo that Hillary took of Norgay with his axe. Norgay offered to take one of Hillary, but he declined. They stayed at the summit for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, they got their 15 minutes of fame. Do you notice anything wrong with this photo?
Not really.
Clean. Why so clean? You're telling me that somebody made it all the way to the top of Mount Everest and they don't have a speck of snow on them, no frost? It's just a staged photo. They do this foreground, background thing all the time.
Do you not understand how wind works? Or perhaps the simple act of picture. Nigga!
Looking at some mocked up fake summit on the bottom with the actor, and then they just put a large panoramic mountain range photograph in the background. 2 photos combined. And they make sure their symbolism gets in there. There's a perfect triangle right here for the pyramid. But look how clean, so clean. And it doesn't even look that well insulated. And it's just fake. Everything that you get presented is fake. They want you to think that they've been to the bottom of the ocean. They want you to think that they've already climbed the top.
No one with half a brain would tell you that they've been to the bottom of the ocean. They've been to specific ocean floors, but no one's ever been to the bottom of the ocean.
Not only that they've climbed to the tallest mountain, they want you to think that 1 million people do it. Oh, it's super common. It's
not necessarily. Like, people do it every year, but there are nearly 8 billion people on this planet. What, maybe like 2,000 of them have climbed the top of Mount Everest? Like, those odds are not in your favor, my guy.
the same thing with everything. Their MO, it transcends all aspects of society. This reminds me of people that claim to be these amazing free climbers. Oh, I free climbed El Capitan. You watch a documentary, it's just a bunch of emotional garbage and quick cinematic clips.
My DoorDash order is here.
Start to finish, somebody free climbing El Capitan. You get a really emotional story, and you get some clips here and there. And it's because...
Wait! My DoorDash order is here. My watch has informed me that my food has arrived. Uno momento, por favor. I gotta switch my shoes first. I ain't going out there in some damn slippers. Motherfucker. have returned with food. Ugh. Yeah. All right.
It's just fake. You're living in a fake reality.
Now,
Masons love
we
selling
use
you a
the
story,
axe.
Telling big tales.
Not really. There's a knife in
will
it
lie
too.
to you about the size of a fish they caught. What do you think is stopping people from outrageous
But
claims
yes,
like this?
it's a
I'm the first
fucking
one to
pocket
climb Mount
axe.
Everest. I don't have a speck of snow on me. I think I explained that enough. You can tell it's an old photo because there are not a lot of people lined up for a shot. That's a lie that they tell you. Oh, there's so many people climbing on Mount Everest. It's just a continuation of this lie. They just want you to think that it's a common thing. Do you know anybody that claims to go up to Mount Everest? Only really rich trannies. The only ones that I know are like dentists, where they have a photo. They get a photo, like a plaque on the wall. Went to base camp, and they probably just they're telling you a story. When they probably climb to a certain point, and then the Sherpas just say, okay, well this is as far as we go, and we're gonna turn around now. And the people, I mean, if they even make it that far, it's probably really, really hard to do this stuff. So most people probably get to base camp and they're like,
Hot.
oh, you know, that's good, I'm good. But the ones that really think it's real and they go up, there probably just becomes a point where they're like, yeah, you made it to the point, we don't go farther than this. If you go farther than this, you're gonna die. And yeah, nobody really climbs Mount Everest. It's like they've now invested $50,000 to go to Mount Everest and do the climb. They actually made it to the point where they're not going to go any further, and okay, now they get illuminated with the secret. Or maybe they already knew, and they knew it's just they go there for a photo op, and then part of the deal is you get to take fake summit photos. I'm sure that there's a studio somewhere near Everest where they have a fake little crag where you can stand and do something like this.
Also, this video is so
If there
stupid,
really were tons.
I don't even need to try and debunk it. Sperm whales are a hoax.
Today's Thursday, November 12th, 2020, and today I want to talk about a hoax animal. One with a childish name, and they want to have these tales of seamen out on the ocean fighting a sperm whale, and it's just not a real animal. This was something I could just look at this and I could tell instantly that this is not real, but people will believe anything, and there are so many fish tales and fake animals out there. There's a lot of fake animals in the ocean. I'll just try to keep today's video pretty straightforward. They love to tie it into evolution. They seem like they evolved for something. It's just made up. Some human made this up. Whales are a strange one. I'll tell a story about a whale at the end. Whales are a strange one. I think that they're just ripping off Jonah from the Bible. I was wondering why it had all those scratches. Well, because somebody made it like that. It's actually because they eat colossal squid. And maybe now you've gotten that one of their MOs is they like to weave this web that ties multiple hoaxes together. And it helps reinforce their fake matrix to have all of their hoaxes interconnected with one another. It's like a house of cards. Well, so there's this fake whale, sperm whale, and they tie in with the sperm whale the fake colossal squids. So that's the story for why they're all scraped up. Sperm whales have no upper teeth. Huh. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Why does that
any
not make
to have
sense?
these
Hold on.
recesses, flip?
Why does that not make sense? Just because you have two sets of teeth doesn't mean every fucking animal on the planet has two sets of teeth. Why does them not having upper teeth not make sense? What? That's a stupid point.
Recesses in the mouth
never heard of any creature being like that. Why is its jaw so skinny? And a lot of people just take the piss with the jokes. These people probably know it's a big joke, so that's why they're just poking fun at stuff all the time. Body image issues from looking at too many whale fashion magazines. Their entire skull is very long and narrow, like a crocodile, but their foreheads are super fat. This is what their skeletons look like. I'll show you in a picture in a second. It's images like these that make me think that we could be way off with how we depict dinosaurs looking. Or dinosaurs are just fake. They're grabbing skeletons from different creatures. They're making sculptures. They straight up tell you that those are not the bones. They tell you that it's castings. And cast a spell, castings. You're just going to get a bunch of diagrams when it comes to sperm whales. There might be a few CGI videos out there, BBC type, Nat Geo productions. It's probably just high quality CGI. I don't believe in sperm whales. I don't think that they're real. So they don't chew, do they? Yeah. How could you chew with that crazy mouth? I'll just go back really quick, show you how dumb this picture is. It doesn't even look, can't you just see that it doesn't even look like it has a big enough throat to swallow anything? And they can't chew anything. How are they supposed to swallow something if they can't chew it and they have no throat?
Did you not just
Came
look
here
at the
for
very
World of Expert
diagram?
Fun facts feel let down. Because usually when they post about these fantastical things, the comments will be full of people spouting a bunch of facts about these things. It's like koalas. There's a zillion zany facts about koalas. There's a zillion zany facts about pandas and sloths because they don't make sense because they're just something somebody came up with. And they write these crazy lores. It's amazing how fake sperm whales look. I mean, look at it. Yep. So I don't know if this person is slightly can see or if they know it's a joke or what, but it is fake. This is a sculpture, so I had to go pretty far down in the comments to find somebody talking about the truth. This is a sculpture by Dirk Claesen. Source, Wikipedia. Description, English, an artwork of Dirk Claesen shot at whatever beach, the Netherlands. It's an artificial sperm whale. That's the only type of sperm whale, artificial sperm whales. Kind of an interesting idea too, artificial sperm whale. With these whale tales, I think that they are doing their own spin-off of the Book of Jonah. They are the same people that preach about how, oh, everything in the Bible's made up. So they're going to be the ones telling you that Book of Jonah is made up, but then they'll come up with their fantastical creatures and get everybody to believe in it. And it's just one of the things that they do. They love to do that. There's another, so in the Bible, there is the instance of Jonah.
No, bibble babble!
Leviathan, which is just an interesting topic to go read about. I'll just read this, Isaiah and Job. Isaiah chapter 27, verse 1. In that day the Lord with his sore and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even the Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Job chapter 41, verse 1. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with the hook, or his tongue with the cord, which thou lettest down? So there is Leviathan, and I've seen a lot of openly satanic people pray to Leviathan and strange things like that. So what are these whale things? They're just little sculptures. It reminds me of these toys. These toys have kind of always been a big thing. Alien autopsy toy. You get this thing and you cut it open and it has goo inside of it and you pick up things. That's what whales, they just look like they probably build some fake outer sculpture and then jam it full of rotten fish guts. You remember the weird thing? I think it was in Oregon. They claim that they blew one up with dynamite or something. I've never seen a beached whale in my life. And I don't know. I'm very skeptical of whales. It reminds me of this.
You've never seen a beached whale. Well, do you live in an area that would expect that? Because if you don't, pretty good reason why you've never seen one.
In Star Wars.
I've never seen one because I don't live anywhere near a fucking beach. Well, I mean, Ocean City's not that far away, but if you expect me to believe that there are going to be beached whales at Ocean City, you're fucking ridiculous.
Star Trek, whatever. the fake animal that they cuts it open and gets inside of it. Anyways, a fishtail is a big lie. I'll end this video with telling you about whales, I guess. I've gotten some comments from people that are like, oh, I lived for months out on the sea and we would see dolphins, but I never saw a whale. So I've heard multiple people comment that. People who lived on boats in the military or similar things, they never see whales, but they see dolphins. And
Dolphins spend a lot more time at lower depths than whales do. Whales don't actually come up that often. They spend most of their time at lower depths. The only whale you could ever really hope to see is a blue whale. And you have any idea how far out you have to be to see one of those fuckers? Even the military is not far out enough to see them most of the time. Also, they're not fucking stupid. They're not just gonna go straight towards you unless you're in their path. You have to come across them. They are not gonna come across you.
so my story about a whale, I was at the Oregon coast once, and there was a ranger there with binoculars, and he was looking at something, and it turns out that there was a whale, but it was like really close up to shore, and what it would do, it would go under the water for a while, and then it would just pop up and kind of float around for a little bit, and then go back down underwater, but it was really up close, like in the rocks, and the nature guy or whatever was letting people use the binoculars and look at it, and I remember looking at it, and it just seemed so odd. Everything, it was so odd, and the nature guy was acting like nothing was going on, and that was probably his act, to just pretend like nothing's going on, because that wouldn't make sense for a large whale, a really large sea creature to be like up in the rocks, and it just seems so bizarre. And I think that a lot of the whales, when you go on whale watching trips, I think that they're just these submersible things, because this whale didn't do anything besides it would sink under the water, and then like 5 minutes later it would pop up for 30 seconds, just pop its little head up. Didn't see any big tail splashes. I bet the big tail
Do you get all of your information on whales from fucking Cartoon Network? What the hell's wrong with you?
splashes and the breaching, and I bet that's just all done CGI Hollywood style.
Yeah, Hollywood is the only place where you're ever gonna fucking see that shit. Whales don't move that much. They just drift and mind their own fucking business. My problem is, why would you go through the logistical nightmare of faking a fucking whale? The biggest issue, the one question that no conspiracy theorist will ever be able to answer, is the answer of, why would they do this? Why would they waste billions of dollars? Because that's how much it would take, if not trillions of dollars, money that no country even has, to fake animals and space exploration, when if they wanted to trick you into something, they could invest all of that money into actual mind control. Why wouldn't they just actually just try and mind control you? Why would they want to try and make you believe these things when they could force you to believe these things?
Just have to wait for comments. People who have been whale watching, what was it like? I'm sure I'll get a bunch of Orange 33 commenters. Oh, I've seen whales jump out of the water, and a bunch of BS. You can't just believe what people.
Anyone who tells you they've seen a whale jump is full of shit. Whales don't jump. Except, I guess, the killer whale, but that's more of very large homicidal dolphin than an actual whale. I'm not watching a 22-minute video on gorillas. Send this video to people who believe in koalas. You know what? Before I end this stream, I want to watch a PragerU video. And if you don't know what PragerU is, oh, you're about to hate me. I don't care about your fucking... You don't have a popular uploads. Alright. Let's see here. What fuckery? No, not that.
Do you believe that good and evil exist?
I believe in my definition of good and my definition of evil, so I guess.
The answer to this question separates Judeo-Christian values from secular values.
Nigga, shut the fuck up.
Let me offer the clearest possible example. Murder. Is murder wrong? Is it evil? Nearly everyone would answer yes.
Bullshit. It depends on the circumstance. It entirely depends on the circumstance. If someone's trying to kill you and you kill them in self-defense, you are not evil for doing so, nor are you wrong for doing so. Now, granted, murder for murder is a bad example. So let's say war. War is wrong, but is it evil?
But now I will pose a much harder question. How do you know? I'm sure you think murder is wrong, but how do you know?
I know murder is wrong because it harms people. It harms the person you murdered. It harms the friends and family of the person you murdered. From an economic standpoint, it harms the economy because that person can no longer work. It hurts people. That's why it's wrong. Morality, at the end of the day, is nothing more than what benefits me and the people around me. If it's beneficial, it's good. If it's detrimental, it's bad. And murder is almost exclusively detrimental.
If I asked you how you know that the Earth is round, you would show me photographs from outer space or offer me measurable data.
No, I'd give you, I mean, measurable, I'm not sure. I'd more give you 65 pages of math that you'd never be able to decipher, but that's just because I'm an astrophysicist, so, shut up.
But what photographs could you show? What measurements could you provide that prove that murder or rape or theft is wrong?
Murder, rape, and theft. We really went way down from the first two. Jesus Christ. What the hell? But, again, murder is wrong because it hurts people. Rape is wrong because it hurts people. Murder is wrong because it's not beneficial most of the time. Rape is wrong because it's not beneficial. I mean, I guess to the rapist it's beneficial. I guess you could make that argument. They get their fucking nut off, I guess. But in the grand scheme of things, it hurts a lot more people than it helps. And theft is wrong because, again, it may benefit the thief, but it hurts everyone else. Again, morality is not just what is good for you, it is what is good for you and the people around you. What is beneficial for you and the people around you. Not just you, you selfish fucker.
The fact is, you can't.
I'd like to say I just did. I'd like to say I just did, motherfucker.
Scientific facts. But without God, there are no moral facts.
Morality is subjective. If no God means no morality, then how come morality still exists in cultures that don't have a God? Or a different God? And even if your God exists, actually, especially if your God exists, why do morals change from person to person? Morality is subjective. Yes, the only objective factor in morality is what benefits you and the people around you. Anything past that, like what is and isn't actually beneficial, changes from person to person, making morality subjective.
In a secular world, there can only be opinions about morality. They may be personal opinions or society's opinions, but only opinions.
Yes, morality is subjective. Your opinion on the matter is the only thing that matters when talking about morality.
Every atheist philosopher I have read or debated on this subject has acknowledged that if there is no God, there is no objective morality.
And there isn't.
Their Christian values are predicated on the existence of a God of morality. In other words,
also, your God's morals are fucked. So, if your God does exist, Jesus wept. Your God's morals are completely fucked up and do little to nothing to benefit, the whole of humanity.
only if there is a God who says murder is wrong, is murder wrong?
No.
Otherwise, all morality.
Only if you think murder is wrong is murder
Western
wrong.
world, what we call Western civilization, is based on this understanding. Now, let me make two things clear. First, this doesn't mean that if you don't believe in God, you can't be a good person. There are plenty of kind and moral individuals who don't believe in God and Judeo-Christian values. But the existence of these good people has nothing to do with the question of whether good and evil really exist if there is no God. Second,
All right, good and evil is an entirely different subject. You can't have one without the other. Because if everything was good, what would you define as evil? And if everything was evil, what would you define... Or not, it's actually the opposite of what I just said. If everything was good, what would you actually define as good? And if everything was evil, what would you actually define as evil? Like, you need both to exist. And also, what I find good and what I find evil will be different from what someone else does. There might be a handful of people that agree with me, but on a planetary scale, there will be people whose values differ from mine. Even if I believed in God, I guarantee you I could find a Christian who does not share the same values as me. Thus, making morality and the concept of good and evil subjective.
there have been plenty of people who believed in God who were not good people. Indeed, more than a few have been evil and have even committed evil in God's name. The existence of God doesn't ensure people will do good. I wish it did. The existence of God only ensures that good and evil objectively exist and are not merely opinions.
But that's exactly what they are. My thing is, you want everything to be set in stone when that's simply not how the world works. Objectivity is not something that exists for a lot of things. You can have degrees of objectiveness, but at the end of the day, everything that exists is subjective. Sure, there is an objective standard of what makes good music. If you're entirely out of tune, you don't fucking go to the beat of the song, and the instrumental itself is again out of tune and makes no fucking sense, then yes, you can say that that is an objectively bad song. However, when it comes to things that are seen as objectively good, then you have differing opinions on how good it is. What you might think is the greatest song ever made, I might think is, it's alright. It's a good song, but I'm not that big a fan of it. I will say this, like and dislike are not the same thing as good and bad. Like and dislike are wholly subjective, whereas good and bad are semi-objective. You can put an objective standard behind something, but everything past that standard is completely subjective. And the standard of good and evil, the standard of morality is what benefits you and the most amount of people around you. That is the only objective aspect of morality, and God doesn't need to exist for that to be a thing.
Without God, we therefore end up with what is known as moral relativism, meaning that morality is not absolute, but only relative to the individual or to the society.
Yes, that is exactly what morality is. It is not absolute. Few things in the universe are.
God, the words good and evil are just another way of saying I like and I don't like.
I literally just got done saying that like and dislike and good and bad are two very different things.
If there is no God, the statement murder is evil is the same as the statement I don't like Murder.
No. I don't like murder. But I understand that there are situations where it is necessary. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean that it's good or bad. I don't like mushrooms, but so many people tell them that tell me that they're good.
Now, many will argue that you don't need moral absolutes. People won't murder because they don't want to be murdered. But that argument is just wishful thinking. Hitler, Stalin, and Mao didn't want to be murdered, but that hardly stopped them from murdering about 100 million people.
Hitler was Catholic, you idiot! He believed in God and still didn't do anything. That's why he prefaced it by saying, even people who believe in God still do terrible things, because he knew he was going to bring that shit up later. One thing that I need a lot of people to understand is that Hitler wasn't an atheist. Hitler was a Catholic. I wonder how many times I can say Hitler before my channel just gets terminated.
It is not a coincidence that the rejection of Judeo-Christian values in the Western world by Nazism and communism led to the murder of all these innocent people. It is also not a coincidence that the first societies in the world to abolish slavery, an institution that existed in every known society in human history, were Western societies rooted in Judeo-Christian values. And so were the first societies to affirm universal...
You do understand that your Bible does promote slavery, right? Just saying.
Human rights, to emancipate women, and to proclaim the value of liberty. Today, the rejection of Judeo-Christian values and moral absolutes has led to a world of moral confusion. In the New York Times in March 2015, a professor of philosophy confirmed this. He wrote, "What would you say if you found out that our public schools were teaching children that it is not true that it's wrong to kill people for fun? Would you be surprised? I was."
I'd be surprised, because what does that have to do with pre-algebra? Bro, what the fuck does that got to do with introducing letters into math? What fucking class would you ever be told that in? I never learned any moral standard from school. School never taught me any of that. My mother did. I didn't learn anything about murder being wrong from school. That was from my mother. So what are you even talking about?
The professor then added, "The overwhelming majority of college freshmen view moral claims as mere opinions."
Yeah.
So then, whatever you believe about God or religion, here is a fact. Without a God who is the source of morality, morality is just a matter of opinion.
And if God is our source of morality, then I'm going to end this stream and go stone some women. Ah, stupid fucking prick. Stupid fucking prick. Alright. But I think that is just about where we are going to actually end the stream. Let me get back into frame real quick. Let me end the stream properly. Ah, yes, hello. if you enjoyed this stream, do make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that join button if you can. It really does help the channel out. All the links you could ever want are in the description down below. And I will see all of you inmates back here at the asylum for the next live stream. Brace. I gotta fucking get up to end my stream. I sat down just to get the fuck back up. I actually hate life. This bullshit right here. Oh my god. First stream of 2023, boys. Let's fucking go. Get the fuck off my screen.